Hey friends, welcome to the second channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about the chat ban moderation system, whatever you want to call it. The chat reporting system. It's 1.19.1 is finally out. I'm here in the system. Oh, social directions only available. Well, let me turn that on. You can see the chat ban system stuff is all here. I don't have anyone else on this world, obviously, but the system is in place. This 1.19.1 came out and it is released. So I wanted to talk a little bit and kind of make a follow-up sort of discussion based on some of the comments and the thoughts from the first video. And if you haven't seen that, it's linked in the description. Go look at that. I basically broke down what the chat moderation system does and like really, I was more intentional about it and kind of dug into the specifics. And I think a lot of people didn't understand what the system was, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions about it. So I posted that video. I still stand by that video. I still think that video is very accurate, and I think I did a good job of it, and I'm very proud of that video. So it hurts a little bit when people are rude in the comments, obviously, but I can understand why. It's a controversial system, and a lot of people don't like that it's in place. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and respond to some of the comments and kind of discuss it. So here we go. I have the comments open on my second screen here, and I'm just going to scroll through a little bit, and we're going to see kind of what people are saying. Some of the concerns that I've seen is that a lot of the things that you can be reported for are pretty subjective, and I understand that. I can understand why they can seem subjective, but I think the reality is Mojang has guidelines. They have their community guidelines. That's the thing that they're going to follow. That's the thing that they're going to go by. If something is not specifically tying into those guidelines, or if something is a little bit more outside of that box, they're not going to issue a punishment because it might be brutal or it might be something terrible. They're not out to get you. They're out to protect. I think that's the key difference. Is a lot of people see them as like, okay, the moderation team is just out to get them, and they're constantly going to be looking to attack and take someone out and ban someone. Like that's not the reality. With my moderation experience, I was moderator for Origin Realms, and obviously Origin Realms is not Minecraft. So there's that. But in my small taste of moderation, the thing that we stressed a lot is that it is very it's very situational. So context matters. A lot of things it's very important to take in all of the context before making a decision. And if you don't have all of the context, you can't make a decision on it. You don't have the evidence to support the ban, you won't go through with the ban. And I think that's similar, if not exactly, what Mojang is going to be doing with this. They're not looking to ban you. They don't want to ban you. They're not trying to ban you. You're not going to be permanently banned for swearing. Like they're not out to get you. They're just following their rules. Hello, random villager. They're not out to get you. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people, I think it's a very common slate that people tend to take. A position that they tend to take is that the big company's out to get me. The big company, all they're looking for is to attack me and for everything that I do to be trapped and all of my freedoms to be taken away. And a lot of people get very paranoid about that. Mojang's not going to do that. Obviously we don't know that for sure, of course, but from the way that they've set this up, you're not giving them enough information to just ban you outright. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense for them to do that. So that, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. Mojang's not going to ban you just because you were reported, if that makes sense. Like excessive reporting isn't going to do anything. And just because you were reported does not mean you will be punished for it. Does that make sense? That makes sense. I think that makes sense. Another thing people are talking about is the sort of bot idea. Someone here is talking about there are literally millions of people playing Minecraft Java every day. Unless Microsoft wants to hire hundreds of people to sit in front of a computer for 8 to 12 hours a day, there's no way that they could monitor this system using humans alone. I disagree. I think that they will be doing that. I don't think they're going to be hiring a crap ton of people. I think I think the way that they're going to be doing it, we actually know how they're going to be doing it. They're going to have task forces and like people to go through the systems, and then people that are ahead of those task teams to make the final call. I think that's what I remember it being, is like groups with a head, and then the groups will be going through the messages, and the head will be more, I don't know, just obviously in charge of them, and they're all making decisions. But it's all through the people, and these are very straightforward. Like the chat systems here that you can be reported for, it's all very straightforward. So they don't need a bot system in place. Like they will get, I'm sure, a lot of reports, but those reports don't necessarily have to be done instantly, and they don't have to be, they do have to, obviously, okay, they do have to be accurate. I wasn't going to say they weren't going to be accurate. They do have to be accurate, but they have to be intentional about them. But they don't have to be done immediately. That was what I'm trying to say, is they don't have to be done right away. So if they're working through all of these, eventually the system is going to die down. The number of reports coming in will die down because people get tired of it. People won't report it. People won't be reporting other people as much. The system will die down, and they will be able to manage it. Like I have no doubt that like they can just click through a bunch of them in like a minute and just say, okay, this isn't that bad. This isn't that bad. Oh, this is something that's bad. Let me look more into this. Okay, great. This is something that I'll take care of. This one is not that bad. This one's not that bad. This one's not something that I don't have to deal with this one because it was a false report or whatever. They can just click through them and they'll be fine. Like there's a lot of things that we are kind of just anticipating, and I think we're kind of justifying our anger towards the system with, there's no way they're going to be able to pull this off, so why would they do that? Like, I don't know. We don't understand what they're going to do. We don't know what their systems look like behind the scenes. We don't understand that. And people within Mojang like have said, if you haven't seen Exumavoid's video on this, his most recent update video talking about 1.19.1, there's messages from someone inside of Mojang to clarify more things, and they just kept saying the same things that Exum has been saying, that I've been saying, things like the fact that there will not be bots. There won't be bots involved in this. Like there's no need for them. Like why would they include bots when the report system is so simple? Like the report system is not in place for the sake of banning people. The report system is in place for the safety of you. Like that's the reality. They're not trying to get you. They're not out to get you. If you're behaving, then you don't have a problem. Like they're going to go through and they're not going to just randomly throw out a punishment that isn't deserved. It doesn't make sense for Mojang to do that, because they would not only lose players, but they would lose time, money, everything. And reputation. Like so many things that would go wrong if they were going to do that. So it just doesn't make sense. It's not a good business move. It's just bad. It's just not a good idea. So there's just, I don't know. There's so many things that are like going through my brain of like this. It just doesn't make sense for them to do what we're expecting that they might do. That it doesn't make sense for them to do the things that we might be afraid of them doing. Like Mojang's not out to get you. They're out to protect you. And they're out to help you. Like the reason they're putting this into place is not to ban players. It's to protect the players that don't need to be banned. Like they're not out to get you. They're out to protect you. And I think a lot of people are not seeing it that way. It's frustrating to me because I understand kind of what the motivation behind it, especially running my own community and having been in a community where I'm managing this stuff. Like I understand the desire to help and like the desire to give people the ability to block someone. Like that simple idea of like, I can block this person and I don't have to worry about them harassing me anymore. Like that's such a godsend. Like if YouTube didn't have the ability to hide users that were being disrespectful to me, disrespectful to other commenters, or just straight up like horrifying and horrible. If YouTube didn't have that, I would not be posting on this because I wouldn't be able to curate my community. So the fact that Minecraft has lasted this long without a system to handle those types of people is pretty impressive, first of all. Like I am surprised that they haven't gone deeper into it and fixed it earlier. But it's also, it's something that like people have come to Minecraft and come to expect that they don't have this system in place, and that's scary. I don't know if I can see why they're putting this into place, not just because Mojang is, hosted by Microsoft and Microsoft is making them do this, but also because they are legitimately looking to protect people, and like they're legitimately trying to give people the tools to like report someone. Like that's just something that's so simple in so many other games, where it's like even just on servers already, like Hypixel has a report system, and obviously Hypixel does not have the best report system. They have to deal with it with bots because that's just how Hypixel is. But they have a report system, and the simple fact that they have that is helpful. It's a good thing for people to not only have the tools to report other people when they're being harassed, or it's not only that, but it's also just a good deterrent from people like wanting to suddenly do that. So I don't know. That's more 2 cents. I'm rambling. This is just a rambling video. That's the whole idea. Yes. Anyways. Okay. It's not a good system at all. It's just going to end up killing chat for fear of bans, which is pretty much how Bedrock has been for a while. I think a lot of people compare this system to Bedrock's system, when in reality it's a completely separate, different system in a lot of ways. Like Bedrock's system is tuned towards multi-console children, like people that like families that don't want their kids seeing something like swearing on a server. When people join an Xbox game, they're expecting it to be relatively clean in a lot of cases, especially something like Minecraft, which is inherently, just because of the way it's designed, the way it looks, the way it's marketed, all of that is tuned towards kids. It may not be a kids game, but kids will look at this and be like excited about it. Like it's a game. This is a block game. Like this is what kids love to play. This is something that's so simple and effective and beautiful, and the way that the marketing is, like the style of the marketing, all of that stuff. This game is inadvertently tuned towards kids, and kids joining on a console or their phone or something that like they have access to. That is something that Mojang and Microsoft, because they're running Xboxes as well, wanted a system in place to block swearing and stuff. Java Edition is a separate thing entirely. Since Java has been around for so long, Java Edition is not necessarily only tuned towards kids. Bedrock is tuned towards kids. And I think that's the defining factor between the two. It's because Bedrock is so widely accessible by literally everyone, and Java, you need a computer for it. And not everyone has a computer. We have to remember, not everyone can use their PC to run Java Edition. That's just a reality, and it makes sense. And there shouldn't be a requirement to have a computer for that. So the fact that they open it for consoles is awesome. They have a version for consoles. That's awesome. So many more people can get their hands on this game and enjoy it, and that's such a good thing. But because it's so widely available, they need something in place to keep it to a point where it's manageable. And Bedrock has a system in place that, while very flawed, does accomplish that goal. And I think there's a lot of things that they can improve with Bedrock, but there's so many things with Bedrock that like really suck. And that's what's so frustrating, because a lot of people are comparing those things that suck so much to the current Java system, when the current Java system is nothing like that. The current Java system is not automated. Bedrock is automated. Bedrock has a lot of bot stuff. Bedrock is constantly muting like words in chat. Bedrock has, you've seen the Phoenix videos, I'm sure. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you've seen the Phoenix SC videos where he is typing part of a word and it gets blocked on a sign. Like Bedrock has those systems in place, and Java does not. Java does not want to have those systems in place, but Mojang is now under the umbrella of Microsoft, and Microsoft's like, hey, you've got this outlet of Minecraft that like we don't want to completely control, but it is still our game now, so we want to put some of these restrictions in place. We got to keep it with our guidelines, and Mojang is now having to not only fit into that, but they're also changing their realms, and the realms are going to be getting a filter, a profanity filter, most likely. So but the current Java system, the things that are on servers and stuff, you won't be there's obviously no tracking of swearing or anything. It doesn't matter. Like, it just doesn't matter what you're saying on Java servers unless you're reported for it. Like, that's the reality, is it's all player based. So the Bedrock system isn't even close to Java, and the Bedrock system is worlds behind it. It's really, really rough, and there's so many false bans because it is through bots, and there's so many problems with it, and like, that's a completely separate video. Like, that would be a whole different discussion, and a lot of people discuss that already. And like, Bedrock has problems. We know this. Bedrock has so many issues. Sure. But that doesn't mean the Java edition is going to just take the Bedrock code and put it into Java edition. That's just not how it works. Java edition is going to have the different system that we now have, just literally simple chat reporting. That is the only thing that they've needed to add for Java edition, and that's it. It's so much more simple. And Mojang didn't communicate it well. That was the big thing. Mojang did not communicate it well, and people got upset because they were assuming that Minecraft was adding things that they weren't, and that Minecraft was bringing the Bedrock craziness and garbage to Java edition, where there was not that. And it's not that at all. I can type whatever the heck I want in chat, and I won't be banned from a multiplayer server with my friends. Like, that's not gonna happen. If you are reported and Java in Minecraft decides that you have broken their terms of service and their guidelines, and that you're not fit to be on a multiplayer server, like, you broke the guidelines. When you downloaded this game and you bought this game, you agreed to follow the guidelines. Like, so if you're not following the rules, you're gonna be punished for them. Like, that's how it works in real life, friends. Like, I don't know. So many people are just so fed up about, like, the fact that you can be banned at all. Like, what servers are you joining where you can, like, 2B2T, sure. That's the point of that server. But like, a server where you're trying to build a community and, like, you're expecting to not have any consequences for your actions, and, like, you can't, that's not, it doesn't work like that. And so people expecting to be able to do that, it's frustrating. Like, I have people in my chats all the time that are like, that say something that they're not supposed to. They're breaking the rules, and they don't expect to be banned for it. Or like, someone that's on my event server, and they're hacking or something, and they're like, they get banned for it, and they're like, I wasn't expecting to be banned. Like, what happened? Like, you broke the rules. Don't break the rules, and you won't be banned, and you won't be punished. It's just how it works. It's how it works. It's just it's people that are breaking the rules and expecting there not to be a consequence. That's one of the main reasons why this system has to be in place at all. And I don't know. I'm frustrated that people are expecting to not be punished for something that they did. Like, I just don't get that train of thought. I just don't get that train of thought. Here's something that I did want to also mention as a follow-up. Someone I did see, I don't remember where the comment is. I can't find it right now, but they mentioned an alternative, and I think the alternative was a really fascinating solution, and I thought it was really, honestly, a pretty good idea. Was the idea of a parental control system, where if you don't want to see something, you set up the filter for it. Like, that would make sense, right? If you don't want to see profanity, you can activate a profanity filter on your client, and that would be changing the way that you see chat. I think that's a good idea. I think that's really smart. I think that could be really cool. I don't know how much people in Bedrock or people in Java would enjoy that, but it is the simple fact of, like, you get to choose. I think that's a really good idea. I think that's smart. Setting that up for your kids too, like, could be really easy and could be really straightforward. And I think that's a really good idea, is a parental control system where, like, you can go in and set the parameters for what you do and do not want either your child or you to see. And I think that's a really smart option, and I think that's great. And it doesn't have to be mandatory across everything. You get to decide. But I think that's a great solution to, like, the idea of swearing and obviously profanity and harassment and racism and all these different things that are concerns. I think it's a good solution to that stuff, but I don't think it quite accomplishes the same thing that a chat reporting system does. The chat reporting system means that you're taking action on something, and like you're actually actively saying, this is something that I think is going against the guidelines or that I don't want to see. I'm going to report this, and action can be taken against this person based on what they said, what they did, whatever it is. It's an active system where you have to make the decision. A filter or profanity filter or parameter set parental controls system is a passive system where it just works in the background as you're playing, and you don't see the things you don't want to see, and you do see the things you do, and that's great, and it works, and it's perfect. But it's a passive system. It doesn't require you every time you see something to click the button and report it, or block it, or whatever it is. It just works in the background. And I think that's the thing. But it doesn't do the same thing that a reporting system does, because a reporting system takes action and can deal a punishment. A parental control system can't. And I think that's where people are concerned about the chat reporting system, is because it will be taking action in places that we haven't had action before. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting idea, but I don't think it accomplishes the same thing. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to read a couple other things here. A lot of people didn't watch the whole video. It's frustrating to me that a lot of people were really just instantly before they even watched the video, they just said, this is stupid, this is a terrible take, all that stuff. And I fully understand why people could be frustrated and would click off instantly, but at least watch it and try to open your mind to it. I think it's a new system, and it's something that a lot of other games already have, and it's something that makes a lot of sense. So keep your mind open to it. Another thing, talking about abuse of the system and the way that you can bypass it with mods and all of that stuff. I don't know. I am not a modder, so of course I don't know those things. I cannot speak to those, but I do think that since the general majority of people do not use mods, and especially the general majority of people do not use the blocking chat reporting mods or mods that can fake chat, most people don't use those. That won't be as much of a concern. And I think they've put a lot of things into place, as you can see, the little blue thing here to verify messages and to say things that are verified in chat, and they can verify the messages from people. That can see those things. They can confirm that those messages are real. They have that system. That may not be perfect, but it's something they can actively keep working on, and it may not be 100% accurate every time. But what are the odds that someone's going to go through a list of players over the, what are the odds that someone's going to go through a list of every single player, find your name, and somehow fake your chat? I could be concerned if someone found my name and decided to try to fake my chat messages in chat, and then I would get banned for multiplayer for that. But I can confirm that I wasn't on that server. I can show that I never joined it. I can show that based on my IP address, all of that stuff. There's a lot of things where you can confirm the validity of something. So it's not a huge concern. And the cybersecurity aspects of it, there's a lot of things that obviously I don't know everything about, but it's a concern. Obviously, of course, it's a concern to be able to fake things, but I don't think it's going to be the end all be all. I really don't believe that there will constantly be people using those mods and faking your messages to get you banned. I don't see that happening unless your group of friends is all hackers and terrible people that want to get you banned. It doesn't make sense to me that someone would just randomly do that to you. Of course, people do it anyways, but it just is I don't think there's as much of a concern about it that people are posting. I don't think that will be a problem. I really don't. I really don't think that'll be a problem for you. And if it is a problem for you, then tell me, because I'd love to know that, and I'd love to see if that happens to someone, because I want to just see that could be a problem and be proven wrong. Prove me wrong in that. I don't think it'd be an issue, though. I really don't. All right. I think that the general gist of this is this system is not perfect. No system is perfect, and we can't expect the system to be perfect. We can expect them to do their best with this, and we can give them good feedback, but it's unreasonable to expect them to do it perfectly. Does that make sense? It's unreasonable for them to cover every base. It's unreasonable for them to patch every bug. It's impossible for them to make this system exactly what everyone wants it to be, or something that will never result in a false ban. It's impossible to do that. But what they've done is really good. And I think the way that they've done it is implemented well, and I think they've done a good job. I really do. And I think at the end of the video, the end of my actual chat reporting deep dive video, I said this system is really good. It's not perfect, but it's really good. I think I said something along those lines. I can confidently say this will be a good system. It won't be a perfect system, but it will be a good system. I 100% agree with myself. I don't think that this system is going to be perfect, but I don't think this system is going to be bad. I think the system is going to help. And I think in the long run, and I think overall, there's more pros than cons, and I think it's just better. They didn't have anything before. Now they have a tool for you to report someone that was harassing you. That's all they've added. They've added maybe a profanity filter in Realms, but that's just because Mojang is under Microsoft. I've been talking for a half hour. Hopefully this podcast was great. I think the way I'll end it is just remember to be kind with your words, not only with your comments towards me. I can understand, I can handle it, but your comments towards others. And I've seen a lot of responses in the comments to things where people are just rude to each other. And they're just yelling at each other saying that, like, you're wrong and you're an idiot, and like you aren't seeing anything about, you are not seeing what the real problem is. Did you even read about this? All of this. So many people that were just infuriatingly rude, and I've had to delete many messages that were just rude, just straight up rude, and like not even useful to the conversation. If you look in the description of my main channel videos, you'll see a moderation clause about like how we go about moderating our comments. I don't delete things because I disagree with them. Like, and we don't delete comments when we just disagree with the opinion. Opinions are great, but when you start to overstep that and you start to attack someone for no reason, or even just attacking someone for something they believe or for something they say, if you're being rude and disrespectful and attacking someone, we're going to delete those comments. But if you're disagreeing with me in a good, sensible way and not calling me an idiot or not calling someone else an idiot, like, that's fine. Like, disagree with me, please. Prove me wrong on these things. Like, discuss this with me, but don't say that I'm ill-informed, or don't tell someone else that they're an idiot because they read something else. Like, you're not, none of us are the ones that know it all. We don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. We all have our perspectives, and we all have our opinions, and we all have our own information that we've taken in and created our own thought processes with. And we need to take those and realize that those aren't the only ones that exist. There are other people in the world that deserve your respect and they also have valid opinions, which is just, that's what it is. Some of you also know this. I am religious. I have a Christian background, but I don't push that on you because I don't, obviously I have my beliefs and I have what I think, like I have that, but I don't want to push it on you because I'm not the one that should tell you what's right. I have no bearing over what your experience is. And if your experience is something that is counter to what I believe, that's fine. I don't care. Like, you live your life. You enjoy your beliefs and your processes. I will enjoy mine. I will live with mine. The instant you start like attacking and pushing your own beliefs on someone else, though, then I'm going to block you. I'm going to remove you from this community because I want everyone to feel welcome. I don't want people to feel like they're being like advertised to for some belief system. I don't want people to feel like they're like being forced into some space that they don't need to be in. I don't know. I don't want you to feel like I'm pushing anything on you because I'm not. I don't want to. I have no desire to make you believe anything that I believe. I have no desire. I want you to be confident in what you believe, and I want you to feel confident being here, and I want you to understand that your beliefs are valid and who you are is important, and you're an important person, and I want to recognize that in you, and you're valuable here. Like, your opinions are valid, your thoughts are valid, you have a stance, you have a voice, you should speak that voice, but you should be respectful in it. And I want to be respectful in that too. And I don't ever want to force anything on you. That's my thoughts. That's my things. If you've got any extra thoughts, leave them in the comments. Hopefully you were able to just kind of put this on in the background or something, because this was a long discussion, of course, of just me sort of ranting. That's what the second channel is for, is me posting whatever the heck I want to, and I can leave it here and you guys can listen to it. And if you want to watch it, you can. If you don't want to, it's fine too. I don't care. This is what the second channel is for. I would love for you to watch these, as I make them for you, but it's not like you're not required to watch these. Anyways. Yeah, if you guys have any other thoughts, leave them in the comments. If you have any other concerns, let's have a friendly discussion. Let's talk about it more. And if you see a comment that you disagree with, just say, I respectfully disagree. Here's why. Don't call them an idiot. And just be kind. Just be kind to one another. Be nice. Be nice, people. Be nice. All right. Thanks for watching. See you soon.